What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I had a few minutes, so I wanted to do a video going into another game I like for tomorrow, and we can recap how we did today. As you can see, the headline here, Coco winning. Go ahead and color me shocked. I would have never guessed that the underdog from America would have beat the big bad terrorist, but she did. Now, I'm not always right, but this one's an interesting one because I just feel like this was one of the most foreshadowed events in the history of women's tennis. I've watched Coco play in other tournaments, and the Serena comparisons were not coming like they were in this tournament. Suddenly, out of nowhere, oh, thanks, Dan. It's no problem, man. Honestly, I appreciate it, and everyone that shows support on the Buy Me a Coffee, but it's really nothing. As I said, I'm right sometimes, I'm wrong sometimes. But in this case, it's funny because a lot of people that saw the Coco video are people that are not familiar with my channel. So I think they immediately just took it politically, and there are people like, oh, yeah, right, there's no way it can be scripted. She's just that good, all these different things. So sure enough, she goes down in the first round to the Belarusian player that they just hate. I'm surprised it's even showing her flag. If you watch watch it on television, I don't know if anyone else is having this happen. I tried to put ESPN on, and it actually said Disney is cracking down, like just regular ESPN. So I don't know what's going on, if they're trying to get people to pay for regular ESPN. Obviously, it didn't work. I just watched it on my sports book. I only saw a little bit in the first set. She looked horrible. And then I stopped watching, and maybe, I have a very interesting superstition about what happens when I watch certain games. But sure enough, like a switch, she's just destroying Sabalenka. So to me, it just seemed like an obvious comeback here. And again, I could not fathom them having Sabalenka beat Coco, who got so many Serena comparisons this tournament. She herself came out and said, I really don't love the comparisons, but I respect her. And it wouldn't have made any sense. Maybe somebody like Wozniacki, who's another good feel-good story. But considering, especially, now this just happened, but you have Carlos that got eliminated. They're not going to do the fans like that and have Coco not win. So, to me, this was to establish her as the face of American tennis, and also because they know how big of a draw Serena was. They just need to get that in there, too. So, good job to everybody who hit there. Like I said, I'm not always right. But with tennis, we've been pretty good. We had Alcaraz winning at Wimbledon, and this time around we have Djokovic, Gauff. So already it's a winning ticket because she was about 275 when I got in and when most people got in. And Djokovic is even odds. So I think either way we'll do good, but I think Djokovic will get it done too. He's playing a Russian, and he's an anti-vaxxer, and they have a Moderna sign, which I didn't love. But what's interesting is I don't know if they'll punish him because he's playing a Russian. So it's like, who do they hate more, the anti-vaxxers or the Russians? I'd probably say the Russians. So, and Medvedev beat him in the 2021 Open. Djokovic couldn't play in the next one. To me, it's all written for redemption. So we did pretty good with tennis. Obviously tomorrow we can do a lot better. And football, we didn't have a lot of plays. I had, for Colorado, we had 2 plays and we split them. I did have Nebraska covering. I didn't think, I guess, a couple people brought to my attention, as I bring it up on many occasions, narratives are always going to reign supreme. And if they want the Dion hype train to continue, it will. So we did miss that, but we got the under. Again, I think people were expecting about 40 points again, a la Colorado. And probably their defense to give up a few more. So we got that. Missed our underdog. NC State got blown out pretty hard. It was just one I was looking at. I was looking at them in Baylor. I pulled the trigger on NC State, obviously. So that one didn't come through. And then the other ones are still pending. We got the I have Alabama covering. There was only four picks I put out on my video. So nothing crazy. Like I said, Alabama covers. It's a 50-50 day, which is fine for the system. As I've gone into before, the way the system works here, as you can see, got Nebraska. Didn't get this Nebraska, and we're waiting on Alabama. So everything just goes to a leg 2. And speaking of leg 2s, like I said, I do have a video here. I'm going into just another game that I really like, and I like it for a few reasons. And it's actually moved since. Okay, now it's showing 4. That's funny because when I just came here, I could have sworn I saw 3.5. Yeah, so I'm not sure 3.5 or 4, but you can see it's moving. And I find it very interesting. 3.5 is even crazier. But the one show that I watch for information is First Things First. And I went into this before. First off, the three guys are hilarious, so they're good entertainment relief. But second off, Nick Wright will say some very interesting things, some very revealing things. And he went into this. He had his 3 picks of the week, and he went into Philly. And he didn't give any good reasons. He specifically said, I'm on to you, Vegas. I'm on to you, Vegas. 4 points, the defending Super Bowl or NFC champs. They're just as good this year. Hurts is going to be better. Patriots are not better, really. They're about the same. And this 4 points makes no sense. So I like the Patriots to cover. This was his logic. So even on the shows now, you're starting to see them take a much different approach. Who the better team is has completely gone out the window. And now we have probably the top analyst as far as percentage saying it's going to be, the Patriots are going to cover. And when I saw this line at first, that's exactly what I liked, and I still do. I think the Patriots cover here. They could get the win, of course, but I just don't get the 4 points at all. And now you're seeing 3.5. If it is 3.5, I will probably... Actually, I'm definitely going to. So, because it's going to be about minus 120 if you're getting 3.5 to buy it to 4. It could definitely be a 4-point game. I'm not saying it's going to be, but it could be a 4-point game as likely as it can be a 3-point game. So I am going to buy the half to 4. But like I said, I'm guessing most books are going to be around 4. My book was at 4, and I always go by the ESPN spread. So they're showing 3.5, and here they're showing 4. So it's probably just going to linger in between. But yeah, I just don't understand the line. And again, outside of trying to beat the public. And we have Brady, I think he's being honored or retired, something of that effect, in this opening game. So you combine everything. You combine the history of Super Bowl teams the year after. It's like they have to pay a penance or something. It's really interesting. So I do like the Patriots to cover this game, plus 4. So the way this works, anyone that hasn't seen my other videos, Nebraska, that was a loss. So now all we do is for leg 2 is going to be Patriots, cover, Eagles, and like I said, I'm buying. If it's 3.5, I'd imagine for most people they're getting plus 4 because that's what it's been around. You might even be getting 4.5, but if you need to, like I said, the half. If for whatever reason it's moved to 3.5 on your book, it could be a hook. So that's why I like the plus 4 here. And it's going to be a leg 2. So, again, the whole point of the system is we're not going to hit every game. So we missed, 50-50 in college today. But a 33% hit rate will profit with this system. Now, of course, it all comes down to hitting leg 3s and extracting value. But for the most part, we really just need to close the right amount of sequences. So you can see we've closed most of our sequences. We haven't won them all, but the ones we have lost... I have leg 2 set up. If you haven't seen my Steelers video, I went into them. I went into the Jets. All these different picks that we have. So, yeah, for the leg 2 of the Nebraska cover that we did not get, it's going to be 2 units. I like the Patriots to cover the Eagles. And, again, it's nothing crazy. It's just Tom Brady's there. They're at home. Belichick. They love to force that narrative. Kind of the same reason I went with the Steelers with Tomlin at home. It's suspicious odds, and you have a goated coach at home that I don't think they're going to let look too bad. So, yeah, I think this is a good play. That's why I made it a leg 2. And I will have the Browns game out. I'll probably have that out in the morning. Like I said, as things come to me, I like to put them out there because there's no specific time that I'm like, oh, I absolutely love this game. I just see the game and I either like the line or I don't like the line, or I'll see a game and just see narratives around it. And for this one, it's just the line. I just think the lines really doesn't make much sense at all. And sometimes you'll see it and it's an as advertised ass kicking. But in a case like this, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see some kind of 23-20 game or something of that effect. So like I said, let me know if there's any other ones you want me to cover, because I'm going to cover the Browns And like I said, I don't like to play games just to play them. I do post because there's times I'll think of some, or I'll look deeper into some. So I post them all on my membership. Like today we had, for college, I added a few extra. Miami going over. They did go over, so that was nice. Just because I can't get every single one, out there, because there's a lot of times I'm not completely sure on something, and then I'll see something and it'll change my mind, 15 minutes before the game or something. But yeah, so like I said, I'll get some more out. Browns I'm going to go into. I just want to make sure what they're saying about Burrow. I know he's playing, but I don't know if they're going to act like he's not going to be 100%, because then the public might not take them. So that's like the last thing. I haven't watched First Things First about them yet. I really want to see. Like I said, I think that show is by far the best for giving away what we can expect. Better than the other shows. I don't know why. They just treat it like it's wrestling, and maybe that's why I resonate with it better. But yeah, so again, good job everyone that got Coco. Djokovic, I think we're going to get the same thing. Again, I don't think the Russian or Belarusian is going to win in New York. Again, these were the two people that were banned, the two countries that were banned last year. Now, again, Djokovic was also banned, which makes it an interesting matchup. Both gentlemen, Djokovic and Medvedev, however you say his damn name, I think it's Medvedev, they were both banned, one because of his country and the other because of his medical preferences. So it's interesting. But again, I think they're going to, I think they probably hate the Russian more than they hate the guy that didn't take the vaccine. So, yeah, I think Djokovic pulls it off. And this one, it's a lean Browns, but again, I really don't know. Burrow got this big contract. I don't know if they want people seeing a player get a big contract and then get hosed in the first week. So I got to read into that one a little bit more. And yeah, like I said, for the other ones, I have all the other videos out for the games that have jumped out to me. I kind of put them out in order of when I saw the line and said, you know what, this looks fishy. I'll put a video out. So this one I timed so I could do a recap, of course, and go into, how we're faring so far. If you missed my last video, Alabama covers Texas is the only one that I had went into that hasn't started yet. So if you missed that and you want to play it, I think they'll cover them. But yeah, I like the Patriots a lot with the 4 points. And again, it's going to be a leg 2. And that's how the system works. Every single night I'm going to go and do a recap of all of our picks, win or lose. I'm not going to pretend we don't lose games. We certainly do. And you'll just see that the numbers bear out. We've picked up a good bit. We've netted, I think, 10 units. Again, notwithstanding a couple that we have open, like the Patriots cover and the Steelers beating the 49ers, which is the other leg 2 I went with. So as I always say, take care and happy earnings.